and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is Bledisloe Cup time. Australia will be taking on New Zealand on a Thursday, which is a bit of a strange time to be having rugby, but as a result of, I think it's an AR or an NRL league game or final this weekend, they have decided to have the match on a Thursday. Kickoff will be at 11:45 South Africa Standard Time. We will be live for the game, so make sure you come and hang out with us. It's going to be a very interesting game because an Australia win opens the competition for anybody to win, and sort of puts the winning of the Rugby Championship into a lot of people's hands. Australia at home have made a lot of changes. New Zealand have made a couple of tweaks, but still stick with sort of the main Balkan of their side. South African fans very much going on for Australia tomorrow because an Australian win tomorrow, especially if it's not a bonus point win, would mean that South Africa would have the opportunity to win the Rugby Championship if they were to get 2 bonus point victories over Australia. So it puts their destiny back in their own hands. Whereas a New Zealand win or a New Zealand win with a bonus point tomorrow means that South Africa, for example, still need New Zealand to drop points and have to rely on other factors to be able to go all the way. Before we look at the two teams that have been named, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. We'll start with the home side, which is Australia. They're taking the match taking place at the Marvel Stadium, which has been sold out. 53,000 seater stadium. Very keen to see sort of crowd that we can come to expect there tomorrow. It's a very cool stadium, and hopefully it will be a fantastic spectacle in Melbourne tomorrow evening. So in terms of the teams that have been selected, we'll start with the home side, which is Australia. A number of changes. A couple of players getting opportunities, a lot of players who've been on the bench coming into the starting lineup. But the man who is sort of unmoved within the Australian side, James Slipper, will captain the side in that number 1 jersey. However, David Parecki will get an opportunity to start, and next to Alala Latoa, who's become also very much a mainstay at tight head. Jed Holloway has traded the 6 for the 4, and Matt Phillip enjoys Matt Phillip in the second row. As a result, Rob Liotta will get a start at 6, as well as Pete Samu, who's been usually coming off the bench in the last sort of month or so. He gets an opportunity to start. Rob Balatini, the big, bulky ball carrier, the man who gets Australia past the advantage line, keeps the spot in the number 8 jersey. There's also a new halfback pairing. Jake Gordon comes into the starting lineup, as does Bernard Sfoley, who will complete his Australia return to the side. And no Noah Lulesio this weekend. So Bernard Foley, who was brought in on the back of the injury to Quade Cooper, has been drafted into the starting lineup, and very interested to see how he goes and whether he will be able to start pushing for potential Rugby World Cup inclusion in a year's time. Marikai Corbeti keeps the spot, as does Tom Wright. The centers pairing is Lake Faketi and Len Ikatau, and then Andrew Kellaway gets an opportunity at full back. Reece Hodge drops down to the bench. Off the bench for Australia will be Flau Fainga, Scott Sear, and Polo Faumo-Osile. You then got Darcy Swain, Fraser McWright, who I thought was very impressive against the Springboks, Nick White, Reece Hodge, and Jordan Petiaa. It's a good Australian side. I worry that they've made too many changes, and if they don't gel, they could be in for a long game. But it's the Bledisloe Cup, and if there's one game where both teams really do step up and pitch up, it's Bledisloe Cup, isn't it? And I think that favorites you leave your favorites at the door because no one, doesn't matter what form you come into, are really favorites when it comes to this match. However, New Zealand, on the back of a very dominant performance against Argentina, have stuck with quite a similar team, although there are a couple of changes, and no Ardie Savea will be a very big miss for New Zealand this weekend. So in the front row, Ethan de Groot, Samasoni Takawao, who's really sort of just growing in leaps and bounds from an international perspective. And Cyril Lomax is the front row. Brody Retallick back into the starting side, starts at 4, Whitelock at 5, Scott Barrett at 6. Very physical New Zealand pack. Sam Kane at 7, but Hoskins Tutu will get an opportunity at the back of the scrum. So as I said, very much going for physicality in that scrum. Interesting to see how Scott Barrett goes at 6 there. It's somewhere where I think they wanted to try and play him a bit more across the Rugby Championship. But the injury to Brody Retallick forced him to shift back into the second row. And Sam Whitelock have been the lock pairing for most of the championship. The back line, Aaron Smith, Richie Moore, Keo Clark, David Havili, Rico Awani, Will Jordan, and Geordie Barrett. Unchanged, scoring tries for fun against Argentina. Caleb Clark looking really good. Rico Awani looking very settled in that 13 jersey. A lot of people still wanting to see Will Jordan at full back, and you do wonder if we might see that next week in the second test between these two sides, but not to be this weekend. Off the bench, Dan Coles, George Bower, Fletcher Newell, then you've got Akira Awani, Dalton Papadi, and Finley Christie, Bowden Barrett, and Quinn Tupaia. So it's a very good bench. It's a very good All Black side. But what we found with this All Black side is they're inconsistent. You know, the personnel changes haven't really changed throughout the year, and yet we've seen very different types of performances from this side. However, since a bit of a rejig of the coaching staff, we have seen a much more solid All Blacks pack, for example. I think who are looking a bit better, and I think we're seeing a side in transition starting to get things right, and they'll be looking to try and take the next step in their journey, in their progression towards becoming a potential Rugby World Cup 2023 side that can actually win. Let me know what you think is going to happen down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.